Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Sorry, I'm late. Technical difficulties, but I am joined by him, and that is Mitchell. Mitchell, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good, thanks, mate.
Good, good. Well, we might as well start with Flynn Downs.
Yeah,
What do you make of him as a signing?
very happy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's just so refreshing to have a signing. You know, within 28 hours of us being linked with him, he signed
mm,
and
yeah,
announced. Like, I don't think since I've been watching West Ham, I can't actually remember last time we've done a deal this quick.
mm,
I'm trying to think about.
not really. Maybe Suchek deal, maybe, or Kafal. I think Kafal would have been a quick one. Other
But
than
still,
that,
this has been yeah, true. But I
you
mean,
know what I mean?
deadline days obviously a lot quicker. But for one to be, pardon me, at the start of a transfer window,
Yeah,
sorry, um, to be done within like 28 hours, it's ridiculous. It's great. I'm very
yeah.
happy with the sign. Honestly, I think he's not a guaranteed starter, but I think he's got the potential to be a very decent player for us. He's got all the
Mm,
makings to be a very solid player for us in the future. And for me, he starts first game of the season at City. Um, and the reason why is because we've got a full pre-season now, about to start pre-season. He's ready for it. He played, it's not like he didn't play any games last season. He played basically every game for Swansea last season. So he's still going
yeah.
to be fully fit. You know, he's going to be as fit as all the rest of the players in the squad, the West Ham squad. He's going to get a full pre-season under his belt, so he should be
Mm,
ready and fully integrated with the team really already. I know it's a very tough level Premier League competition we'll be up against in the first game, but I just think playing on the ground possession-based football against Man City is the only way you're going to be able to beat them. And
mm,
when we had a go at them last year, I think we had a good go at them, and we looked really good along the floor, and was playing it along the floor more. We've done so much better. I was thinking of games where we play Souček, we just really struggle to break teams down, and City it's just impossible.
mm. Thing is, do you feel though this is like a bit of a underwhelming signing, it to a point? Like,
Nah,
listen, I think he's a good signing because he's a West Ham boy. Right? He loves West Ham. Yeah, he's not a bad player. Fair enough. But on Monday,
mm,
we're looking at signing Unana from Lille, and on Thursday we signed Swansea's Flynn Downs. I think it's a good signing. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not being like negative, but there's levels, isn't there? Let's be honest.
of course, but considering the fact that apparently we're still after two more midfielders, and I do
Mm,
think we'll sign one more guaranteed as well. Doesn't worry me at all. We need squad depth, and squad depth for 12 million. That could be a start as well. And he's only 23. It fits right in with the West Ham team. He's West Ham born and bred. I think it's
mm,
the perfect signing. It's a good price. He'll be on very low wages as well. Remember,
yeah.
so I think he's exactly the kind of players we should be adding to the team. But now I still think we do need a starting midfielder alongside Rice because we don't know how Flynn Downs is going to do. Um, Onana would be ideal, but apparently that deal's out the window now. So we move on.
Yeah,
Move on to better signings. What do you think of him then,
I agree.
James?
Though I think
Fucking
he's
hell,
all right.
James.
I think he's
Fucking hell.
uh, what
What is going on? I'm
I
going
think.
to scream
I
as
think he's all right. I think he's all right, the player. Don't get me wrong, but I do think he's like Mark Noble's replacement. He's not
Yeah,
Suchek's replacement. If that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
So
Yeah.
it's not exactly like if we come in and sign another two midfielders, then like the question is, what happens to Connor Coventry here? Like, where does Connor go from here?
Well,
Do
if
you know
we,
what I mean?
I personally think we only need one more midfielder because I know we've been saying we want to add two, but I think we need to focus on other positions more. If we can add one more midfielder, and one that can be a guaranteed start alongside Rice, and then we pay say 30 million for him, then we're paying 42 million for two midfielders. I think we'd be very happy with that, and that's what we need. I think then we'd have Cardinal Coventry, Souček, Rice, Flynn Downs, and then one more midfielder. That's five midfielders dead, and I think that's enough for them to rotate as well.
Yeah,
I think that's good. Ekwe can be as well. Could potentially get some game time next season in cup games and that, so he could get thrown into the mix as well.
So are you saying? So where do you put him then? Where do you put Flynn Downs in that team? Like, if we sign two midfielders, depending who they are, well, they're going to be better than Flynn Downs, I think, if we're going to go somewhere. Where is he in the side? Is he fifth choice? Is he fourth choice?
Well, it depends. If we sign one more top quality midfielder, then he's third choice behind Rice and that player. Then, for me, he gets ahead of Souček. I'm not even going to get into the whole Souček debate, unless you want me to.
No, it's up to you, mate. Because we've seen many debates.
Yeah, so considering we're talking about Flynn Downs, I will just a little bit. I won't go into Souček or anything. I'll just kind of compare the two. As you would have seen from last season and the season before, yes, Souček was effective, but in that season we still struggled to break teams down because of the role that Souček played. I think because he was just trying to get into the box all the time, and we were just trying to whip crosses in left, right, and centre. It didn't necessarily help. And the games where we weren't scoring and we were struggling and we were just crossing it in all the time, and we weren't getting any luck, then those games were basically Souček's fault, because you're basically playing a one player midfield in Rice, and it just really limits us to break teams down. When you've got two players that can play the ball forward, like Flynn Downs and Rice, then I think that really helps with, the speed in which you build up your attacks. Yeah, that's basically it. Basically, the speed at which you build up attacks, also the creativity as well. Souček doesn't, he can't make like nice one-touch football overlapping passes with like wingers and stuff like that, which other modern-day midfielders do that. Souček can't do that. If we needed to cross the ball in from the corner and Downs found himself in a corner stuck, he could put a good ball in, dig a good cross out. Souček couldn't, for example. He's just much better technically all round than Downs, I think, than Souček. The only games where I would consider starting Souček, obviously this all depends on how Downs gets on at West Ham at the start. So, James, you're very blurry, by the way, mate.
Oh, I don't know what's going on my internet, mate. I'm going to smash that fucking box up. I know that. After this.
Are you with?
Yeah, fucking BT, mate. I think it is, or like whatever the fuck it is. But it's going out the window, mate. Doesn't it? But carry on.
So obviously it all depends on how Dan starts. But if he has a good start and looks very comfortable in pre-season, then for me, yeah, he 100% starts in the first game of the season against City. And then for me, that'll be a good show of how he is. And I don't think he'll shy away from it. He's not a player coming from a foreign league to the Premier League. It's not like you're throwing him straight in deep end. He's English. He's getting a full pre-season under his belt. He'll be getting on with the players really well. I can tell he's that kind of personality. I've watched some videos on him. And the big thing is he's a fan of West Ham. So he's going to want to win the game. He's going to have a bit more hunger and desire than some of the players on the pitch. It's not I'm not criticising other players, but naturally, if you're a fan of a club, you will give that little bit extra. There's no doubt about that. That's all I've got to say on him, to be honest. I really like his stats. I've looked at his, passing, progressive passing stats, his tackling, his interceptions per 90. I think they're great. They're on the top 80, 90% all the time. And it's great. He's had 93% passing accuracy, I think, in in the league last season. I don't think it was in all competitions. It might have been, but it was top in the top 4 leagues in English football, which is incredible. Compare that to Souček's of last season, which was 64%. And for me, that just makes a massive difference in creating attacks and keeping the ball more. And the thing is, it's not just about keeping the ball more and doing it more of the ball forward. Keeping possession obviously helps you defensively, because if you're keeping hold of the ball more and you're giving the ball away as much, like Souček done last season a lot, then then it helps on both sides of the pitch, attacking and defensive.
I knew you would get to Souček, but listen, I'm going to get to his comment. You have to get behind Downs. It's 50-50 signing, in my opinion. The only problem is that he's a player for the future. We need established players who go straight into the starting lineup, which I 100% agree with. All right, I don't see this man coming in and taking Thomas Souček's place. I know you might disagree on that, but I just don't.
No, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But if I was the manager, as I said, it depends on the pre-season. If I was the manager, I'd want to see what it's all about, training, how he gets some of the players in pre-season, how he links up with players like Rice. Because I think one thing that Rice does really well is he's got a really good understanding of the game and links with players well. In England, in the Euros, he links up with Kevin Phillips so well. At times last season, he links up with Lanzini so well for one-touch passing. With Souček, I've never seen them on the same wavelength together. They're never doing one-touch passes, triangle passes, linking it up. It's always pass to Souček, and then passes will look, and then Souček will look around and maybe play it to the right back or centre back. So I think if Downs can be on the same wavelength as Rice, which it appears hopefully he can be, then I think we've got a real future player on our hands.
I think to sort of round it up on Downs, I think it's a good signing. Don't get me wrong, as I say. The Connor Coventry one baffles me though, because basically, where does Connor go from here? Like, where does Connor Coventry go now? Like, he's coming back. Like, I would have thought this is his year to come in, and we're going after 2 midfielders. Now, that to me spells the end of Connor Coventry. Yeah, in my opinion. Like,
you say that, but he'll still get cup game time if he plays. It's not about the end of Connor Coventry. Like, it depends on how he gets on. Like, if Connor Coventry steps up to the plate, he could be better than Souček and Downs next season. If he really performs, like we saw him in pre-season last season, and also playing for Oxford last season, or MK Dons. Oh my God, what was it, Oxford? It was Oxford, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not drinking gravy. That's a large JD and Coke. I'm just letting you know that. So.
That's what I was after.
100%. But so, what was your final thought on it, Mitch? Then, good signing, but we need more.
Good signing, but we need an established midfielder signing still. But it's a great. I think it's a great signing because you got to look at it for the signing it is. It's not a signing where he's going to be the first choice midfielder. He's just there for the squad and to potentially be a starter. So and he's a West Ham fan. Low wages, low price. It's exactly the kind of players we should be adding to the squad. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully this boy's going to come in. He looks like he's like a kid in a sweet shop, mate. Like with some of the stuff that I've seen on like social media of him, and he looks so happy to be here.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. And for me, he's a player that if he turns out to be to have a horror show, which I don't think he will, then we've only paid little money for him. If he was to move on, which I don't think he would anyway, but if he was, so eventually we probably wouldn't make too much of a loss. Because we'd probably still be able to sell him for like 6 million at the least, and then his wages, are very small anyway. So it's not like we'd be paying loads of money for a player that'll be sitting on the bench, like Yarmolenko, for example. So it's a no-risk signing for me. I think it's exactly the kind of place we added.
Who do you think signed him? Because I done a show the other day, and people were saying that Mark Warburton is behind this one. I don't think it's Newman. I think it's Warburton.
What was it I saw the other day on X's thing? X put on his Patreon yesterday about an agency that I think it was Warburton's. Who was it? It was either Warburton or Newman. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think it was Warburton. His sister works for the agency that I think scouted these players or something, and he was on there. And I think that is how it came to pass, through that little list of
yeah,
players, um, that we saw that the Palace thing was interrupted. And I think Warburton saw the player was on that list. And he thought, fucking hell, he must be a tidy player if he's on this agency list, this scout list. He's
mm,
then obviously looked a little bit more into him and Newman maybe, and then gone, fuck it, this boy's a West Ham fan as well. Low risk signing. Looks like he could potentially take the step up to the Premier League. Let's get him in.
yeah.
There's a
And
reason why all the Premier League clubs were interested in him.
yeah, and let's be honest, for £12 million, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Like it's literally, if we wasn't to hit the ground running, you could sell him for 10 million and over a couple of years and get vast majority of your money back. But we will see about him. Moving on though to one of your favourite players, Mitchell. All right, he's one of your players that you have said about death on at one stage, and that is Issa Diop. He's
So
possibly
completely regret saying.
yeah, which you do completely regret saying. I agree. Looks like he could be going to Fulham, Mitch. What's your thoughts on that? £20 million.
Very happy. Very, very happy.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
not
you would be.
confirmed yet because apparently they've only put a £12 million bid in, which is quite far off what you want at 20 million. But if they step up to 15 million, snatch their hand right off, just
Yeah.
take it and go. I think 15 million is fair. I think that's a fair price. But
Are you disappointed though, Mitch?
I kind of like the fact that we want 20 million and we're sticking to it because it's not like the West Ham that I know. We usually selling players for the
Yeah,
last few years, like fringe players for peanuts, and it's always been that West Ham thing over the last few years where I think clubs have taken advantage of us and just we sell the players for so much less than what we paid for them. Whereas other clubs don't do that; they'll sell him for a little bit less than what they paid for him. And
yeah,
but I like how we're sticking to our guns here and demanding 20 million for him. Even though I don't think he's worth anywhere near that. But I cannot wait to see the back of him. He's everyone says he's got that ability, he's got that talent.
yeah,
That I don't get that because he's shown glimpses of that a few times every season. His first season was his best season when he was 22. He's getting
mm.
older and older now. He should be getting better and better. But for me, he's getting worse and worse. He's getting more
But do you?
inconsistent and inconsistent.
But do you find though that he's? How can I put it? He's been disappointing at West Ham. Like for me, I'm gutted.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not gutted that he's going, but I'm gutted that he hasn't fulfilled his potential.
Yeah, I agree. I think I thought he was going to be a real player. At one point, Mourinho said that he was he was an absolute monster. I think when we played against Man United at that time, and the Felipe Anderson scored, and Diop absolutely dominated Lukaku. Mourinho came out and said in his interview, he said, "Whatever scouts found this player, well done, because I think he's an absolute superb talent." And then,
Yeah,
what was it? Not last year. Was it this time last year? Sorry, this time 2 years ago. I think it would have been now. No, this time a year and a half ago. No, it was 2 years ago when Spurs were linked with him for 50 million when he was at his kind of peak, but still showing signs of wear and tear and inconsistency. I said at the time on Twitter, take the fucking money. People talk about 60 million, 50 million. I said
yeah.
60 million for Diop is the biggest farce I've ever seen in football history. Take it and run. The amount of stick I got online was absolutely ridiculous for saying that at the time. I'm so ahead of the curve. It's ridiculous, James. And I said it. I got so much stick. I even said at the time as well. And this was when Bonner was kind of improving. I said, "Fucking Bonner's not getting any respect just because he's like a lot older than Diop."
Yeah.
This is when Bonner started stepping up and improving his consistency. People still prefer Diop because he's got that natural talent.
Yeah.
It's just it really
I
wound me
know
up at
what
the
you
time.
mean. I know
And
what
I
you
got so
mean.
much stick for it, and I said people call me crazy for not wanting to take the money. I think Alan Mazeppa, surprise, was one of them. And yeah, I mean, I might have to go on Twitter actually. Now that I've remembered it, I'm going to go on Twitter actually and have a little look at that because I'd like to retweet
But
it.
but let's be honest though, Mitch. Like I know you're not a fan of him, but there must be a bit of you that thinks you are a bit gutted that it didn't work out for this geezer, even though you don't like this geezer
Look,
for what he has done.
I would have been, but that time's gone now. It's not like he's had some great memories for West Ham. Like maybe in his first season, yeah, but for me, he should have been out the door 2 years ago when I said about the £50 million bid had come in. So since then, he's not proved his worth. He's not proved his consistency.
Right.
So it's not like it's a short-term thing where I've gone, you know what, I think Diop should go. I've been wanting him to go for ages. So I don't really feel that way, to be honest, James.
No.
It appears like a nice bloke, but I care more about West Ham and just us moving forward, to be honest, mate. I think I'm so focused on that and wanting us to improve that I really don't give a shit, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't blame you like that. I'm in the camp where I look at him and I think what might have been. I think Jazza says it here. Yeah, it's crazy that Issa went from being an absolute monster to an absolute fairy.
Yeah,
and that is
so. He was a little bitch. The last season, he was a little pussyhole. It was the least aggressive centre back I've ever seen. Like he didn't want to get stuck in. He was just.
There was no aggression in him.
Oh, it was a horror show from him.
And he didn't used to jump either. Like for how tall he is, you'd think he'd be like a beast in the air and just go through people. And he just, for some crazy reason, he just doesn't jump in the air, even at like anything really. So it is a shame on him on that. Do you know what I mean? But
it's a shame, yeah.
Obviously, £20 million. Now, if we do get £20 million, Mitch, where does that get reinvested?
Well, straight back into just the whole transfer budget, really, just on the other players we need. We need another attacking midfielder / winger, striker, left back, midfielder, and I think that's the minimum. And then maybe a couple other players.
Yeah.
But I'm confident we're going to get all these signings. I really do think we're going to get all our kind of positions covered. I think people forget we've still got a decent budget. If we sell Diop, our budget will be then, I think.
Well, basically, we've only spent about 20 million. Like
Ariola,
a guard,
12, 13, that's 40, that's 53, 20. So we spent like 33 million, really.
Well, yeah, but like not. Well, a guard and Ariola were 30 million combined, weren't they? And Downs is 12.
Ariola's 30 million.
Ariola weren't 30 million, bruv.
Like, again, is 30
again
million.
Was 30 million. Ariola was like 7.75 million, mate.
Oh yeah, so it was about. It wasn't 11, was he? Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so you're looking at about 20 million that we've spent. If we get Diop back, we've only spent really £20 million, which ain't bad on 3 players.
But more than that, it's like 25, I think.
Yeah, but we need more than that.
And then say that leaves our budget. Say at the very least at 90 million. Say that leaves our budget at 90 million. Then we're talking. We need a striker, attacking midfielder / winger, left back, and another midfielder.
Yeah,
it's 4 players. 1 or 2 of them could be loans, and then you're talking about 45 million on 2 of the positions. And I think we'll get a left back on the cheap anyway, so that's out the window.
I'm not convinced on the left back, mate, if I'm honest.
Do you not think we'll sign a left back?
Nah, I just don't. Do you know what? I think we've got more chance of signing a fucking right back than we have a left back, Mitch. That's no joke. I'm not even winding up. That Malin keeps getting mentioned, the Denmark man, like the right back.
Let's fucking sign him, then. Let's continue talks, because as I keep saying, I said to you last week that the left back position is the most in-demand position in football. Yeah. It's so hard to get. There's not many great left backs out there. You've got to snap them up.
Oh, there is. But we just can't. We just don't spend the fucking money. Let's bring the man in.
David Ram, for me, just spend the money. We've got a decent amount of money. Let's just go out and sign David Ram. Like, he would boost us so much in every aspect. It would help the left winger. It would help Ben Ram out so much in terms of defensively tracking back, because he'd be quicker than Cresswell coming back. It'd be quicker going forward. It'd be much better link-up play with Ben Rama. He'd be able to put crosses in that ain't blocked, because Cresswell's so slow nowadays. He can't put crosses in. And it would just help out in so many ways, and he's got potential to be a world class left back as well. He's young. I love everything about the player.
He's passionate. Lucas, how are you doing, man?
What are we saying, boys?
Well, Mitchell's been
going on with
going.
your camera.
Mitchell's been going on about Issa Diop.
I just got out of an interview, so I'm changing into a hoodie right now.
All right. Okay. How did the interview go?
I think it went well. We're just trying to make these peas out here. You get me?
Yeah, you got to get them peas, mate. He's got to get back over. He's got to get back over to the ends, mate. That's what he's got to do.
My ends have been going through it. I've seen some news. I don't like it. I heard there's a stabbing in Ilford. Romford's doing okay. So the ends aren't looking too great right now,
mate. Fucking hell, like you'd be surprised what it's like around here usually. But Lucas, quick thoughts, man, on Flynn Downs.
I like the signing personally. Some of my group chats have been very I don't want to say negative, but their guard is up, which is rightfully so. I mean, anyone that thinks this is like I don't even want to. I'm trying to think of what kind of sign it is. Like, in my opinion, I think it's a very good signing. I'm not going to say it's fantastic out of this world, but it's a very good sign in my opinion. Someone with some potential. From what I've seen of him, I think he definitely could fit into the new mold of what we're trying to do, and I just can't wait to see more of him. And of course, lifelong supporter. He already knows the standard. He knows what he has to do, bare minimum, and that to me is one of the most important things.
And I didn't even say this when I was talking about him. I really do think he's a Moyes type player. Moyes will love him. He will love his energy, his stamina, his love for a tackle.
That clip of him. I forget against who it was, but he makes an absolute brilliant hard-nosed tackle and then just takes the ball and runs about 40, 50 yards up the pitch. It was absolutely brilliant. But I like the signing personally, and I think he will be decent competition for Souček. And if we do sign another central midfielder, it'll be some more better competition. But I was more worried that we weren't going to have good depth for the cup matches, FA Cup, Conference League. Like, I think he's going to be able to step in right away and play at least League Cup and Conference League.
Oh, I think Premier League.
Oh, I bet you do.
I'll tell you why. As I discussed with James, it does depend, to be fair, on how he does in pre-season. But the reason why is because
I want to see him running tomorrow.
He's got a full pre-season now. Like we've got I think like 8 games in pre-season, 7 games I think it is. That's a lot of games, and he will get a lot of game time as well.
Well, you know what game he's going to start, I think, is Ipswich away, and that's his team where he come through the academy.
Yeah. Fucking hell, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Tuesday night.
I'm buzzing for tomorrow and Tuesday. I really am.
I've got to be honest.
I think these are the games, like in pre-season games, that are perfect for him to get warmed up in. Lower quality opposition where he can feel comfortable at passing the ball forward, pass it around. Yes, he won't get that time in the Premier League, as I keep hearing everyone say. But as long as he can build his confidence in our side before the league starts, then I think that's really going to help us out, because it's been very rare where we sign players under Moyes where they've been given a pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they've got a few games, but to be given a full pre-season, it gives them a massive boost.
It's just important to get as many minutes as you can in pre-season. To me, that is like just the most important part. Like, I know you could play shit and we'll criticize you, but I mean, in preseason, you just got to get the minutes going, get the fitness up, and just make sure you don't get hurt.
What do you think about Issa Diop going, mate? Obviously, I spoke to Mitchell. He's very sort of happy and content about him leaving. I'm a bit gutted that he's going, but I can understand him going. Like, it was a no-brainer, really. He's the only one that's really going to earn us any money from a defender standpoint. What's your opinion on it?
I would say I'm gutted that it didn't work out for us, because I do think he still has unlocked potential, and the qualities he does possess are good for the modern game, and even with a side like ours. But unfortunately, he's just way too inconsistent. After after a good first season, and then he just kept slipping away. I know he had like a month or two where he'd have like 2 good matches in a row, and then he'd drop off with a really terrible game, and then he'd do it again, another terrible game. But I mean, I can't lie to you. If we're getting £20 million for him, that is an absolute farce, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially when we were expecting, like, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get 10.
Yeah, I think last season, we'd have sold him last year, we'd have got 10. Mitch, you're on mute. He was on mute.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, cheers, mate.
He's back on there. Go on, Mitch, take it away.
What's it called? What was I saying? Just then, another mic. Diop, I think, has always had the raw talent and the ability and the physical attributes to do well. His brain is just not right. I think he may be a very nervous player, struggles with confidence, maybe has personal problems as well. Maybe doesn't. It's true because there's always underlying problems. Like the problem with Ali, I've got a mate that's close to him and goes pint with him, and he does lines of gear with Ali all the time.
Oh,
but apparently, Dele Alli's an absolute unstable mess, and that's apparently one of the reasons why he's really struggled in the last few years, because mentally he's always struggled. He's been really depressed all the time. Apparently, so.
Well,
so you never know. You never know behind what's going behind closed doors.
And realistically, if we could sell Diop for £20 million and we basically get Downs for free and Aguerd together, I mean, that cost like £7 million, £10 million together net. So I mean, and we don't need 5 quality center halves. I know our injury history has not been kind to us with our center halves, but you don't need 5 really good ones because someone's going to get unhappy.
Yeah,
and Ogbonna's been showing real quality apparently in training.
I'm telling what have I been telling these people? That I've been telling everyone he is going to have another good season. These Italians do not quit.
Everyone's sleeping on him. Everyone's
These
sleeping
Italians
on him.
Don't quit. They literally age like fine wine, and I don't get it.
And people don't realise everyone ages differently. Chiellini's still going really strong. He's up 37, I think, nowadays. Zlatan's 40. Age is just a number, and it does show it is a number. Obviously, you're more likely to drop off at your older ages, but that's not with every player. You just got to gauge with their performances how they're doing. I would have thought Fabianski would have dropped off a long time ago, but he still started off last season really well, and he was, I think, 36 at the time. But I'm so glad to see the back of him. And I was saying, Lucas, before you came on, that if we do sell him for 20 million, and we spent 30 million on Lingard, 7 million on Areola, and 12 million on Downs, that's a total of £28 million spending out of our apparently 110 million pound budget.
It's brilliant business.
Well, do you know what I'm going to buy you?
Then we're looking good.
So what?
We've made no loans either.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm going to do for you, Mitch? I'm going to buy you some indigestion tablets, mate. It's fucking burping you do.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm not even sorry.
I mean, I feel like fucking strangling you sometimes. You know what I mean? But listen.
Sorry.
Right. Let's move on from Issa because he's moving on. Let's talk about Jesse Lingard, right? I know it's a topic of conversation all the time, but this man wants to go to the MLS. Look, Mitch, what do you make of that? He wants to be one of Lucas's lot.
Apparently, it was linked, but apparently all the MLS teams have dropped out now.
Oh,
I think what happened was, I'll tell you, when that news came out, and I've said this from minute one, I know I'm in the minority when it comes to Lingard, but I have to say when that shit came out, I was totally deflated. Because don't get me wrong, I like watching the MLS, but when you hear shit like that, that's like, you've got to be fucking joking. But it doesn't make sense to me.
That's coming from an American talking about his football.
Let me tell you, gambling on the MLS is so electric. It's so fun. But that's besides the point.
How come? Why? Go on.
I don't know how much I believe the rumors or that report, because I mean, he was already in the USA. Like, he was in New York City, I'm pretty sure, like a week before that rumor came out. So you would think he would have like had talks while he was over there or something. I'm just saying I don't fully believe those reports, but it was deflating to hear that because that is just a joke, especially 29 years old.
Well, I want to know
100%.
why. I want to know why gambling's so good on the MLS, Mitch. Lucas, that's what I want to know.
Oh, it's so electric. Like they just somehow score. Like they're so shit, but they score. It's so fun.
Oh, what? Just random teams?
Yeah, I mean, but I know the teams like pretty well, so I would like to think I'm a pretty good MLS gambler. But it's fun. It's fun to watch, and the quality has picked up over the years a lot. Like that one bloke from Juventus, Federico.
Yeah.
I know he's on his way to Toronto.
Is he? So,
and he's 30, 29. He's not old. They're paying well over there. I'll tell you that.
Is a good question, yeah. What is your MLS team, Lucas?
I mean, my local, if we're being technical, is DC United, but I don't really have a horse in that race.
Nah, you support West Ham, mate. That's hard enough for 38
I like Nashville SC. I think they're pretty good. If I had to choose, I'd probably say Nashville SC, but I just gamble on the MLS because there's nothing else on and it's fun.
100%, mate. So with the Lingard situation, how long do we prolong this now, right? Because this is a constant theme of him talking about him sort of every other week near enough, yeah? When would you say the deadline is for Moyes to say, right, that's it now, he's had his time, it's time to move on? Is it now?
It depends. It depends what
I said July 11th. That's my give or take. If he's not in,
I'll give 10
the
season.
I would.
No, but what I'll do is I'll make the signings already that we need. Complete our summer transfers because he's a free agent anyway. We've freed up a lot of wages.
Yeah.
We've signed this Downs now, who's going to be on very little wages as well. I don't think Agai's on much either. So.
And, does he really need to get
wage
bedded
budget
in?
should be really good. So I think if we just sign our transfers that we need, and then right at the end of the window, if Lingard says actually I do want to sign for West Ham, then might as well just add him, just get him to the squad.
I'll tell you what, it would be a fucking disgrace if he went to Everton. I would actually full on blast him on Twitter. My Twitter fingers would be fucking
finger blast him.
100%. I can imagine you
not in a loving way.
We all know the truth. We all know the truth. Steve says here, do you think pre-season will have any effect on Moyes' thinking? Apparently, during shooting and striking training, Oko Flex has been ripping it up.
I was
in close season.
I was going to say this while we were talking about Lingard because he didn't say it, but it rolled something in my head about Lingard. And Mitch said he'd give him the whole season, which isn't a bad point because does Lingard really need to get like bedded into the squad because he's played with basically everyone in the squad?
Exactly. Yeah.
But still, like, it's so fucking annoying. And as much as I don't believe that MLS rumor or him like going back to America to have talks, like for me personally, for my own health, I'm giving him July 11th, and if he's not in by then, I'm full on just shut off, and I could really give a fuck less.
But you know what? If he was to sign, how would both of you feel? Because for me, I'd feel like, oh well, it's another signing. I wouldn't feel like it's. Do you know when you get a signing, you get a buzz, don't you?
I'll be worried.
Yeah.
I'll be scared that the whole fan base is expecting Lingard to perform somewhere close to what he'd done in his first half season. But like, I don't think he'll be anywhere near as good.
Yeah, I don't either. But I think that would make our support look really ignorant and dumb to think that he could repeat that. And I've always said that I don't think he'll repeat statistically what he did, but I think he can bring the same impact that he had. And I just don't want our fan base to just because of what's going on right now, and he's been delaying signing for us. I don't want them to bring that reasoning onto him to perform the same that he did, because realistically, he's not going to be better than Ronaldo and Messi ever again in his career over a stretch. Ever again.
Was it 16 games, 9 goals, 4 assists?
It's ridiculous. But like I said, I don't want him holding out to be a reason we put pressure on him to do that again. When we all know if that was Joe Schmo down the fucking street, we wouldn't put that kind of pressure on him.
Can we sign Joe Smo on loan with a view
No,
to a
can we get
permanent?
Hugh Joss?
Good old Hugh, yeah. Good old Hugh.
Or
So-
Mikey Ox smells.
yeah,
Mikey Oxwells.
I know.
Or
Listen,
Corey Holder.
that's a good one, I must admit. So
He's an
basically,
actual player. He's an actual player.
Oh,
Well, he
wait,
might be a
wait,
player.
real
We're
quick,
having-
before we move on, I have to tell you this because
Go ahead.
you lot will piss yourself. So there's actually an MLS player that went to my local university, not the one I went to, but my local one. You would not believe what this geezer's name is.
Go on.
Ben Bender.
That is. Oh, you'd have to change your last name, surely.
I literally was telling the boys, I was like, if he ever goes to the Prem, he is fucked.
Let's do definitely by a lot of the fan base, I must admit. But listen, right? I
It's
feel
got nothing
that
to do with the board not wanting to pay the wages.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's to do with the board not wanting to pay the wages, but I don't blame them. I think that's a good thing. I don't think we should be bending over and saying we're going to make you a highest paid player when you've not played any minutes last season, and you want that wages based off one half of a good season with us. It's a fucking joke. You don't deserve it.
Not really. No, I agree on that. But look at it like this, though, right? I feel West Ham are lining up a big transfer somewhere. Right, with the business that they're doing, for me, it just feels like they're getting all their sort of small signings done. They're getting rid of all like the deadwood, like Diop, and I don't know why. I've got a feeling that they're gonna blast out like a 45 million pound bid for someone.
I think there's reason to be positive, especially after what just fucking occurred, because what just happened with Flynn Downs is the most un-West Ham thing of all time. We hijacked it. Within 24 hours, we hijacked a move. We got both of his medicals done and an announcement. That's so un-West Ham like.
Fucking hell, I want to know who was doing that transfer.
And the good news, apparently it was what's our new, I always forget his name. What's our new assistant manager's name?
Mark Warburton.
Apparently he had a lot to do with that signing, and
it's still wasn't it?
I think we're gonna have a ray of positivity shining, because I've heard, wouldn't say they're like the most reliable sources, but I've been seeing around a lot that apparently Chelsea are lowering their value of Broja to like £25 million, which would be fucking stupendous.
I think 25 million is right.
Yeah, I think 30 million is too dear. I know it's 5 million a bit more, but I just think it's 5 million too much. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know why. I just got this feeling that West Ham are lining up a couple of big bids for someone. I don't know.
That'd be great.
That'd
be very. I don't see us doing it.
And there's a lot. And there's a lot of links. There's a lot of targets on that agent's books. Wasserman. A lot that are on a short list.
Exactly, but none of them are massive on there. Like, none of them are big signings. X has already said that we're not going to spend big on the striker. He said that Calvert-Lewin and Tony are ruled out straight away from that, and David. And we don't want to spend that amount of money on left back for Ram. So the only potential position you could be talking then, really, and the fact he doesn't spend that amount of money on the left winger, Danjuma. So the only possible statement signing we could be making now, I'm talking top quality, is a midfielder.
Yeah, but do you know what I got linked with earlier on, as you remind me? And I understand what people are saying. Do you know what I mean? But Brendan Diaz, I keep hearing his name keep getting mentioned again. And you said it the other day, Mitch. Yeah? You said, I'm glad that we're not linked with this geezer no more, but he's coming back to bite us on the arse. I think they're going to go into him. Diaz, Blackburn.
Barrington Diaz.
I saw the links because X has spoke about it yesterday. He said that other targets that we spoke about, so and so, Enesiri, and he put Ben Burton Diaz in there as well. And he also mentioned that he's on that list. I thought, fuck off! Like that is not who should be signed.
That's not a good signing, mate. I'm telling you that now.
Poor signing for me. That they'd want, I think, 20 million. Which is a fucking farce anyway for a striker that's had one half decent season in the Championship.
He's changed his nationality because he scored a few goals for Blackburn. Everyone thinks he's the fucking next fucking
No.
superstar.
We need more
Shouldn't
players in the squad to follow
He's-
suit, but change them to bulk and last names.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I look at it like this, yeah, right? Diaz is not like that's a backup signing. Like, that's a
That's a
backup.
sign
Like,
we'd be making 5 years ago.
that's a
Yeah,
signing
and-
that Crystal
and began-
Palace
oh.
or Brighton would be making, not West Ham in Europe.
Yeah,
making, if that makes
exact-
sense.
Exactly. And I think
know
a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
our fans do forget that. They do forget. And actually, what Potter said a minute ago in the comments
Yeah.
about none of these are big players, and we still, what was it? How can we still get a big stage if we don't get these big players? Exactly. Like, I'm not asking for us to sign big players left, front, and centre. I think
Yeah.
the signings we've made now are superb, but we need to make, for me, one big statement signing this summer window to really boost it, and then add around to it. If we don't spend loads of money on left back, that's fine. If we get Tagliafico for 4 million, that'd be superb.
He's gone to
And
Leon, mate.
Because we don't
Has he?
need.
Tagliafico's he confirmed
Yeah.
to Leon now?
Yeah,
Fuck!
he's went to Leon. I'm sorry to break it to you.
That'd have been my. That would have been a no-brainer for me.
Right,
Fuck, I didn't know that.
That's Tagliafico out the window. I mean, Rich says here, yeah. He says Jonathan. He said it's the hope that kills you, Mitch. Jonathan David is coming. No, if Jonathan David was to be linked with West Ham and they done a deal so fast, right, I'll be bouncing, mate, bouncing.
The fault of that breaking, and then the whole of Twitter, just.
I would have to change my name to Iva Hardy.
That's brilliant. Oh, fuck it. I've never heard that. That's brilliant. Iva Hardy. That's one. You. That is so good. You could definitely write that down in the comments. And
Someone
I would
did. I
look at
can't
that so
lie.
many
I took
times.
that for someone in the comments.
I'm calling you.
Oh, did ya?
Your name's not Mitch no more. It's called Ivan.
Here,
Is that
let me shout them out real quick. Who had that in there? They deserve a shout.
Oh, was it in
that
this?
It was in West Ham. It was in West Ham 82, I think it is, or whatever. Answer this question, yeah. What would you consider being a successful season? Now we've signed 3 players. We're starting to look like we're getting ourselves sorted out.
I cannot say that now until the start of the window.
Happy Hammer 82. Shout out to you.
Happy Hammer. Until we sign all our players, until we get the transfer window done out of the way, and judge how the other teams have done around us, around the transfer window. That's when I can say how I think we should be doing, and what would be a successful season.
Well, I'll tell you,
certainly used to be decent at Chelsea. Emerson would be a
surpri-
decent signing, actually.
Yeah, but he had a row with Declan, didn't he? So that won't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Who did?
Greenish had fucking fallouts with every player under the sun, and everyone still loves him. I don't think that's a problem. Emerson.
Emerson, yeah.
Well, at least he didn't kill someone like his teammate.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, dear.
I know. Well, to sort of talk about Chelsea, I'm going to lead on to something else. Yesterday, I was doing a very calm space, and these 2 Chelsea lads come on the space and started digging me out massively, yeah? He said I was a chav. I had to laugh. Yeah. They come at me being a chav, mate. I said, don't be discriminatory, mate. I'm the poshest chav person going, mate, 100%, yeah? And then what they come out with was Declan Rice isn't good enough. He's a crap midfielder. Right?
Sorry, that was done me. Oh,
I know,
brilliant.
mate. I know it was hilarious, mate. I wish you'd have been there, Mitch. But
Brilliant.
But I loved it, mate. I'll give it straight back to them. Yeah, I told them to start adding up, mate, because they can't count. And what it was is they said that Declan Rice was only worth £10 million.
Well, real quick, they wouldn't know what a good midfielder looks like because they have to watch Ruben fucking Loftus-Cheek every fucking other week.
And they said that Jorginho pisses all over him. They said Jorginho
is
so over.
I think they were trolling.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, they was definitely doing something.
The only
mate,
reason I put him in my FPL team is because I know Chelsea.
I love
it. Penalties.
Do you know what he said to me, yeah? I've got to say this to you, yeah? They go, oh, yeah, I bet you wear all Stone Island gear. I said, bruv, I wear Lacoste gear, mate. I don't wear fucking Stone Island. You're having a fucking laugh, ain't you? No, you're definitely taking the piss. That's what I said to him. 100%. It was heated, I must admit. So anyone who was listening in on that space yesterday, it was fun. But, we moved. But, yeah, Declan Rice is not good enough, apparently. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he can't pass. That's another thing. He can't pass the ball. And I found
he's got 92% pass accuracy.
He's got and hold of 92, yeah. So fucking hell, talking bollocks.
They might know something about passing. They just pass a blue flag up each other's ass.
Yeah, I agree.
All fucking week.
So
boy,
to sort of like end it on this then, like obviously moving forward, who is next for you? Like, I see another link today, Justin Clivett. If you don't know who he is, he's
not
Patrick.
we should be looking at inconsistent young, hasn't done anything to us to know. Could be
Yeah.
decent for us, but nah, like Ben Rama would start ahead of him. I
don't think he'd help
someone
us
that would
now.
start ahead of Ben Rama.
Yeah.
For me, there's so many good left wingers out there. So wingers in general, because wingers generally can play on either side anyway, as long as they're not too one-footed. I think there's so many good wingers out there in the top 5 leagues that will be much better. I think that Sinistera, who Leeds have just signed, is a great signing for them.
Yeah.
Good signing. Scored, I think, quite a few goals in
Leeds,
whatever
United
league
States
he
of
was
America, baby.
in. Yeah, and was it?
Oh, for them Americans now. Fuck it, Leeds.
Oh.
Are you supporting Leeds, Lucas, now?
Marching on together.
Oh no.
I know Mitch hates Leeds, but I do have a soft spot for
Leeds,
Leeds.
mate.
Yeah. I have a soft spot for Leeds, and that was before even Jesse Marsh and Co came in. I don't know their support. I'm not gonna say like reminds me of ours, but like I like the passion.
Yeah, I know.
The passion
and it's not fake, like fucking Chelsea.
True, and Man United.
I agree.
I was on a Man United space has come up on my feed a couple of days ago. I went into it just to have a little look what we were talking about. Every single one fucking from South London. You can just tell it in their voices. I thought, oh, for fuck.
I heard a quote the other day that you both might know. It was I can't remember. Oh, So over at American Hammers TV, they just did an interview with Captain Anderton.
Yeah, and
he said a funny quote that most Man United fans come from Surrey.
Won't surprise me, mate.
Because they don't have a local.
I'll be honest with you, mate. Some of them, West Ham, Manchester United, are known as Cockney Reds, mate, because they all come from fucking south and go to north. That was the old saying.
I honestly jump back and forth between Arsenal and United as the worst fan base of all fucking time.
It's so close. I'll tell you, it's really bad though, because they're not as vocal. But when you look at them, Celtic are shocking. They're disgusting as well. They're just horrible cunts, mate. They think they're above everyone. They think if they was in the Premier League, they'd get Champions League football.
Just say it how it is, Mitch. It don't matter.
They're fucking scumbags, mate. Honestly, you can look at my interactions I've had with Celtic fans over the years on Twitter. Disgusting fucking twats, honestly.
It's all right, Mitch. They're
probably the most disgusting out of all the fans I've known. Yes, Man United and Arsenal fans are more deluded.
Yeah.
But Celtic are just fucking scumbags.
Right, so here's a question for you to round off, yeah? Name me the top 3 Premier League worst fan bases.
Oh, I'll let Mitch go first.
Okay, are we talking... I'm going to do Twitter and at Football Game.
Right. Okay, then. So we'll start off with Twitter first from you, Mitchell.
Okay. Premier League. The worst.
Go
Man
with
United.
Go with
In person
first.
In person first, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. In person. The worst fan base. And for me, it's a little bit different. I don't know how to base it. Do you want me to base it on what I like or based on passion or a bit of both?
Base it on both. Let's have both.
Okay. So, for me, the worst fan base in the Premier League...
in person.
Oh, fuck. I need a bit of time to think about this. Twitter's easier for me to think. Can we do Twitter first? Actually?
Twitter.
That's easier for me to do, and then I'll think about the other ones when Lucas is doing his. All right, Twitter. Man United, worst. Yes. Second worst, Arsenal. Third.
You are spot on so far.
Third. Oh.
Who's third for you, Mitch?
You know, Villa have been really fucking bad the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, I agree.
Lucas. Villa.
Oh!
Good bang on.
Oh my God, mate.
It was a toss up between, for me, Wolves, Villa,
Wolves.
And Liverpool. and Liverpool.
I respect Mitch's
And
opinions
Chelsea.
because I think there's only one person on this earth that can match my intensity when it comes to grudges, and I think Mitch is up there. So I have a mutual respect for that because literally I've said I hold strong enough grudges that will keep me alive till I'm 200. And I think
I'd say the same as well.
Be the bearer of the grudge. I've got to say that I think Chelsea are a fucking nightmare fan base. When they start winning stuff, they all come out the woodwork.
Well, they called you Chad.
Yeah, mate, call me a Chad, mate. I love it. Mate, hell, mate. I couldn't believe it.
What, I can't stand YouTube Chelsea. They're the fucking worst. Rory Jennings is an absolute fucking bellend.
And Sophie Rose as well. Fucking playing for a little pussy.
And then the one guy, Sean on Sharky, whatever that channel is, he's fucking terrible too.
Just one of them. I don't even know what his name. He's like a Asian looking bloke. What's his name? Black curly hair. Very well spoken. You know the meme where he's got the little Harry Potter kid doing the fan cam. I've never experienced a gay atmosphere like that before. He's one that's interviewing him.
Yeah.
He's a twat. He's a twat. Also, now I'm saying it, Adam McCullough, the Man United fan.
Fuck
disgusting
him.
Fucking
human.
Wanker.
Disgusting human.
Honestly, the worst person out there. He thinks he's
fine,
everything
Mitch.
he says
Let
is
it out,
gold.
bruv.
He gets proven wrong
Shut
all
me
the
down,
time.
brother. Go on.
He's honestly a bellend. He said every single West Ham fan is racist as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple seasons ago.
Hasn't apologized for that bullshit racist remark yet. Has never done it and never will because he's a piece
I
of
DM'd
shit.
him. The cunt. He didn't reply. I read it. But I thought
he's
this.
United, mate. He's bigger than
he's disgusting. He's got this arrogance about him where he just thinks he's like the best Man United fan out there. And
you want to know how far up his own ass he is? Even Declan Rice debunked that fucking take, and he still hasn't fucking apologized. Fucking cunt.
Well, we're gonna leave it on that before I get shut down.
Lucas, that is.
Come on, Lucas, take it away.
So number one, I mean, mine's is basically the same as Mitch. The first two, United, disgusting humans, terrible human beings. Arsenal, most deluded fan base of all time. They are stuck in the 90s. They're fucking shit, and they'll forever be shit. Fuck them. And then third is a huge toss up because there is a bunch of other bullshit going around. Like, don't get me wrong, I hate Spurs, but I don't think they're deluded. They're just
the number is deluded is a lot of our as the other fan base in the Premier League.
Who else am I missing? Chelsea. YouTube Chelsea's awful. I can't stand them. They do not know ball at all. Who else in the Man City? I don't dislike Man City. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out why we have this Twitter allegiance with Man City. I've been trying to figure it out for the longest time. Well, but I like it. Tell you, I like it.
I like it. And not people don't like it. I love it. I think it's nice to have a little allegiance with them.
Hold on. Third. Fuck Liverpool. Fucking can't stand them. They're fucking terrible people.
Well done.
You do know I've got Liverpool Arsenal fans on my subscriber list, so I'm not missing.
Listen, they're probably very nice, and
they are very nice.
I respect them face to face.
Yeah,
but Liverpool, their support is absolutely disgusting, and I cannot wait till Klopp leaves. He's a disgusting fucking human. I can't stand him. All he does is fucking bitch and moan about the schedule in fucking England. If you don't like it, go back to fucking Germany where you belong.
Right. So if we've got to pick one fan base to get rid of altogether, which one would it be?
Man United, 100%. The place, apparently, I read the fact that a tenth of the world supports Man United. And I think it would be so much cleaner, there'd be a lot more commercial space open for the other clubs. The world would be nowhere near as toxic on social media. All the Man United players that get racially abused, that wouldn't be happening as well. I just think.
Can you believe that Christian
Eriksen
cleaner is going there with his heart condition? I pray for him. I literally do.
Good point. He's gonna go on Twitter after one bad performance, start smiling, scrolling down. He's gonna get every fucking word under the sun. He's gonna have a heart attack.
as soon as I heard that announcement, I have been praying before bed every night for Christian Eriksen because those supporters might. I'm not going to say it, but they might harm him.
I'm not going to say it, but they might kill him.
Yeah, they very much could do it. I'm not going to lie. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there.
No, James, go quickly say the top 3 in person. Quick.
Go on.
All right, top 3. Worst. Arsenal. Arsenal are the worst in the league. They've got no atmosphere, home and away, and they're the most deluded fans in the fucking country. Shocking. For me, easily the worst. Second worst. I want to say Liverpool for my hatred for them or Leeds, but I've got some respect that they've got a decent fan base in terms of passion. I'm still going to put Leeds second because I think they're very deluded as well. They think, well, they've always thought Calvin Phillips is better. They thought when they came up in the Premier League that they were going to get European football straight away, and that they're here to stay, and they're going to fucking do everything. Third, Newcastle. They've always been very delusional, always comparing their players with ours, saying that every single one of their players is better than our players. Every single one of their fan bases, when I've been to Newcastle, there's so many fucking 12-year-olds there giving it stick. The atmosphere at home is poor as well, really poor. Away days are pretty good, to be fair. But I think I just really don't like them. And now they think they're God's greatest gift now that they've got the Saudi owners in. They're louder and mafia.
That blood money is going to be wild.
Well, we're going to leave it at that before I get shut down by all the fan bases.
Stop talking about Haller. He's gone. He's gone to Dortmund. Leave him alone. He's fucking shit. He was a lamppost for us.
I just want Jurgen Klopp to leave the Premier League, go back to Germany. And I don't know what it is with these people from Liverpool that you can't wear white socks. You have to wear black socks. I don't fucking get it.
I don't get used to sometimes. I really don't. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Yeah, please do like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. Love Island's on. I'm missing it.
Love Island recoupling. Let's fucking have it.
Yeah, let's go. But listen, Flynn Downs is in the house now. All right, great signing. Issa's on his way out. It's goodbye from us for Issa. But it's all about the next move now from West Ham. Next one's got to be a big one, I think. And
I think the next one could be Broja.
Yeah, and if it is Broja, then we'll welcome in with open arms.
Let's get down to business.
From Mitchell and from the American Lucas, it's bon voyage for now, and see you in the next one.
Later.